besties. Today I'm going to be doing a live update Q&A. A few days ago I put up these two pictures on my community tab and I asked you guys to send through questions. It's been a while since I did one of these videos. I think we should actually make it a monthly thing. What do you guys think? Maybe monthly is too much, but some sort of rhythm should be put in place for this. Let me know what you think. It's just a random suggestion. It is a-okay if you don't want it. Long story short, I'm here to answer those questions. I actually used some of the pictures that we got from our wedding day to make a post on my community tab when I asked you guys to send me questions, which by the way, I am in fact uploading a video with all of our wedding pictures tomorrow on the Exclusive Besties Club. There's literally 1,173 pictures, so it's gonna be epic. All great, amazing, good looking pictures. Even some of the pictures I'm just like, who is that? Like, who are those people? Anyway, let's dive ahead and get to the questions.
Each time I make a memory, then I try to make it with you.
Deborah Mutla writes, hey, you look different. When I saw this comment come through, I was just like, if you don't look different on your wedding day, your makeup artist didn't do a great job. That's just my opinion. But thank you. I hope it's a good different. Ntswaki writes, hello bestie. When you fell pregnant with K-Bear, was it planned and were you not scared? K-Bear's pregnancy was planned. In fact, K-Bear and Peanut. But the plan around K-Bear's pregnancy was we wanted to have a baby. We thought we were going to have a baby somewhere in the future, in the very short future. She was a plan that happened pretty quickly. And funny enough, I knew right away, you know, after the deed that I am completely pregnant. No, I wasn't scared. I always wanted to have kids and I felt ready at that time. Duffy19941 writes, hey bestie, what's your occupation? I am still working as an IT specialist. I haven't changed. I don't think, let me not lie, I might want to change in the near future, but I'm not necessarily sure when that's gonna happen. Phoenix Nglovu writes, hey bestie, do you still have a full-time job? Yes, I do. Catherine Kidisite says, beautiful pics. Thank you. Yondela says, you and your family are beautiful, bestie. Thank you so much. You guys are gonna make me blush. Guys, let me tell you something. While I'm here, I'm holding this phone, right? And I'm trying to read all of these comments right here and the questions. And I have got these long lashes on and I can barely see. Like, my eyes are so bad that on our wedding day, I had written my speech on my phone and I was barely able to read my speech, so I had to improvise. Thankfully I wrote the speech myself, so I kind of sort of had an idea of what it is I wanted to say. I literally just improvised. So I was trying to read this Notile Dlamini's name and I'm like, is it Nolihle? Oh guys, I'm bad because everything is just so blurry. I actually wear glasses. I do. I just don't wear them all the time because I'm stubborn like that, but I have to because I'm gonna get wrinkles from squinting all the time. I digress. Notile Dlamini says, I'm here for the love and beauty. Maybe one quick question, bestie. Do you think your life changes after getting married in terms of the way you have to relate with in-laws? Share a bit about that. Also, does Dizzy have both parents? Dizzy doesn't have both parents, unfortunately. His dad passed away, so he has got his siblings and his mom. When it comes to getting married, things changing, yes, to a certain degree, things change. You find yourself having to answer or attend to things that before you got married you would just feel so, not my monkeys, not my problem, I'm not getting involved. But right now you kind of sort of have to be involved. It's still kind of sort of awkward. That's kind of sort of what changes, at least what changed for us once we got married. The one thing we've always done before we got married, even after the whole lobola thing back in 2019, we've always just kept extended families out of our things, out of our business. Our relationship has always just been about me and Dizzy and the kids. Yes, we attend to them, but we've always just never made it a thing that, you know, if we have a thing at home, Dizzy has to be a part of it and vice versa. Whereas right now, it's a thing that we cannot run away from. It has to happen. Deborah again writes, yo nake abuntle ruri kaleboga. Response Siutula. I hope I said that right. She writes, hi bestie, I just love you. I can relate to your lifestyle since we are the same age and we have 3 kids already and we have husbands as well. Okay bestie, I'm glad. I'm so glad you can relate. I'm laughing like this because you mentioned and we have husbands as well. To this day, I still find it very awkward to refer to Dizzy as my husband. You know, I feel like it's just one of those things that, I mean, yeah, anyway. let's leave that. It's, yeah, no. Mommy Seleka writes, are you planning on going on vacation anytime soon? We are hoping to go on vacation. Well, we were hoping to go on some sort of holiday soon with the kids, but now with the talks of third wave and stuff, I think we might end up postponing that. We'll see. If all goes well, fantastic, we will go. Otherwise, we kind of sort of stuck home for a while. And to be honest, I am desperate for a holiday. I'm not gonna lie. I just need to kick my shoes off, go to somebody else's place where I don't have to worry about making the bed, and just have fun. Angel Nomfundo writes, hi bestie, I'm loving your wedding dress. If you bought it, please can you rent it for me? Getting married in September, or you can share the shop you bought it, where you bought it. Oh, congratulations. I'm sure you must be so excited, pretty much eagerly waiting for September to come around. I don't believe in buying wedding dresses, so I rented my wedding dress and I got an overskirt and a long edge veil. They didn't have cathedral veils, so I didn't want to buy it, and I didn't want to say no, Kevin, Nolly knows will want it someday. I want them to have their own personal choices, and I don't have space to keep a wedding dress. Okay, I'm really rambling about this wedding dress situation. Long story short, I didn't buy it, I rented it, and I got it from Bridal Room in Pretoria. Tiamo Shilowa writes, hey bestie, she actually has 4 questions. Have you considered quitting your 9-to-5 for YouTube, provided it pays you more than your 9-to-5? No, I don't see this as a thing that I do full time. I really actually love what I do, my 9-to-5. It's crazy because people always say, no, you must quit and do YouTube full-time, or you must start a business, or this, that, and the other thing. But people also forget that there are people who genuinely like their 9-to-5s. I'm one of those people. Yes, work gets frustrating sometimes. Yes, there are disagreements at the office sometimes. Yes, I don't always get along with my line manager, but the bottom line is I really love it. Do your kids know how to speak Sesotho or Setswana? This question actually comes up quite a lot. They understand, but they don't speak back much. Kebe tries here and there. Do I feel bad about it? No, I don't. Let's be real. Speaking your language doesn't necessarily mean that you know who you are or where you come from. We decided it's probably best that we get them comfortable in languages that will get them through school, and then we slowly teach them the Sesothos and the Setswanas and all of that fun stuff. Does this mean we're not teaching them about their heritage? No, it doesn't. Judge me all you want. It is a-okay with me and Dizzy. We don't mind. It's just different for every family, honestly. People have different reasons for doing different things, and we need to stop judging people based on decisions they make, because we don't know why they made those decisions. We don't know how they got to those decisions, and so it is completely unfair to look at situations through the window from outside and think you have the whole picture. And I know this is not what you mean. I know this is just a legit question, because this has actually come up quite a bit from a lot of people. I see it on the comments where people are like, no, I think there was actually somebody who said you should speak Setswana and Sesotho to your children because it's gonna help them know who they are. And I'm just like, who said that? Who said that speaking Sesotho and Setswana helps you know who you are? Like, how does that even work? That just blows my mind. Or the thing where they say, no, you shouldn't relax your kids' hair, you must keep it natural because, you know, it's part of who they are and whatnot. And I'm just like, I can have relaxed hair and know exactly who I am. I don't understand what hair has to do with anything. But do all your kids have one name? No, they actually all have 2 names. What's the one thing that has changed for the better since you got married besides the surname? I actually really miss my surname. When it comes to kids, anything and everything that has to do with securing the future for the kids or making the kids' futures much easier than ours were, we have that in the same place. It's no longer that thing where he's doing his own thing, I'm doing my own thing, because regardless of how hard you say we are committed to each other, the fact that our surnames were different, it was just really hard to have everything be in one place. That's the one thing that really pushed us to actually get legally married, you know, the home affairs process where we sign and we get the marriage certificate and all the kids can have the surname and we all running a household under one surname. That's the biggest thing. Constance Maluleke writes, hey bestie, I love your family, beautiful wedding, thank you. One question, after spending so much time together with Dizzy, then getting married married? Has anything changed in your relationship after getting married? What has changed, if anything? I have also been with my partner for years now. We have twins and we are getting married soon. I am anxious, excited, and just thinking of whether getting married changes anything in the relationship. The biggest change is how you interact with family. That for us, that has been the biggest dynamic. I don't know about you guys, maybe you and your partner have got this smooth sailing relationship with your partner's family and him with your family, and if that's the case, then not much should change. Marriage is essentially what you and your husband make of it. You can choose to listen to whatever nonsense they tell you, or you can choose to focus on the goal and the life that you and your husband and your twins and your kids want for yourselves. Noxie writes, hey bestie, you guys look amazing. Totally love this channel and all you share with us. Thank you. I just wanted to find out if how things worked out in your life ever tempered with your faith as Christians. The staying together before marriage, having kids and all that, while we are taught marriage first, then build a family. If it ever did, how did you feel with it? I'm a first-time mom who is staying with her partner, but can't seem to shake off this guilt. I will call it off how things shouldn't be this way. I hope this makes sense. This actually makes total sense. For me, it didn't bother me as much for two reasons. One, I knew that Dizzy was the one for me. For me, marriage happened before we even stayed together. And I don't know if this makes sense. For me, marriage is not signing that document from, you know, the pastor and taking it to Home Affairs and getting your marriage certificate. For me, marriage is committing. I know they say, you know, you have to get a pastor to officiate your wedding and all of that fun stuff. But at the same time, if the pastor is officiating your marriage, but in your heart of hearts, you know that you're not necessarily into that relationship, and if anything happened, you'll be the first one to leave, then it's really kind of sort of pointless, isn't it? Marriage for us happened way before we even stayed together, so us staying together didn't bring about any guilt. Yes, the families were not necessarily happy about it, because to them it was we are keeping, you know, just cohabitating and not necessarily getting married, because parents take so much pride in their children getting married. To them, it's not even about the Christian and the faith and the whatnots. It's just their kids are getting married kind of thing. I don't really know how I can help you with this question, because I can tell you I'm not necessarily answering or telling you what you needed to hear. That's just how it worked out for us. I just had to go and change up my camera battery because that one was flashing. Beko Sutola writes, bestie, I only have one question. Please answer it. It's about your accent. I enjoy listening to you speak so much. You even sometimes sound a bit American. Do you mind telling us about your accent? There really is not much to tell there. Sometimes I talk so fast that I rumble over my words and it may come across as American. I don't know. But also the one thing I've noticed is that we don't hear ourselves the way other people hear us. I like that you said, please answer. Balisa, right? Absolutely stunning. Thank you. I'm assuming this about the wedding pictures, by the way. Deborah writes, hi mommy, you mentioned sometime back that you had drama with both families during the wedding preparations. Do you mind sharing in how did you overcome that? Why are we getting personal, Deborah? Why are we getting personal? We started planning our wedding in November of last year, 2020. We had quite a bit of drama. By December, we were so close to canceling the whole thing. We were actually now starting to plan having the wedding at our house, like where we stay, with just me and Dizzy and the kids and the pastor, and then of course the matron of honor and the best man, and we were ready to call it a day. It was bad. It was exhausting. I cried so many tears. Dizzy was so frustrated. The only thing that legit pulled us through it is the fact that we knew this is about us, and we kept having that conversation that regardless of what they say, this is about us. At the end of that wedding day, everybody gets to leave and we have to stay. We have to make it work. During the midst of those conversations, I think me and Dizzy actually had a conversation where we said, if we spend all of this money and people don't show up, would we be still happy? And my answer was in a heartbeat, because you and I and the kids will be there, the pastor will be there, and I would still be happy. And that's how we made the decision. We started happily paying all the bills we had to pay. But yeah, there was a whole lot of drama. another story for another day. Christina Masilela writes, who chose the rings for the both of you? Daisy picked my what they call engagement ring. There's a whole meaning behind this ring. He told me about it and I absolutely fell in love with it even more. The band was pretty much just something that matched the ring. And then when it comes to Daisy's ring, he actually didn't even want a ring. We ended up buying it very last minute. I think the week before the wedding we got his. He picked it himself, but I was there with him. Leanda writes, wow, studying wedding photos, bestie. Any travel vlogs with 3 kids in the near future? Thank you, bestie. Yes, there will be travel vlogs in the near future very soon. We're hoping to actually go back to Victoria Falls soon once everything settles down with COVID. It would be pretty incredible to go back. Trumela writes, hi bestie, hope you got your ID. Got mine yesterday. It literally took 2 weeks. Well, my ID is ready for collection. I haven't went to collect it yet. Christina writes, hey bestie, I love you and your family. You make motherhood look so easy that I wish to have kids with the same age difference as you in future. I love their bond. Who decided it's time to have a wedding and did you save for it together? It wasn't necessarily a decision about it's time to have the wedding, but it was a decision about we don't really want to regret not having the wedding, if that makes sense. We didn't necessarily save for it together, but we had savings, so we just used our savings to finance the wedding. We were not necessarily saving for the wedding, we were just saving because it's the financially smart thing to do. One dealer writes, absolutely breathtaking, bestie. Thank you. How's it going with your masters, by the way? Bonnie Siwe writes, guys, you don't know how much I love this family. The kids, man, K-Bear, Peanut, Nolly. We love you too, and they love you too. Charlotte writes, love you and your family. You look like the most happiest bride I've ever seen. Love your hearty smile. My question is, what thoughts or feelings did you have as you were walking down the aisle? And since Abutizi is now a YouTuber, what were his? I hope it's not too personal, if so you need not answer. I was fine. I was literally the calmest bride ever, in my opinion anyway. I don't remember shouting to anyone. Everybody was just doing their own thing. It was just so nice. The atmosphere was so chilled in that hotel room in the morning. Just before I walked down the aisle, I started panicking. Like, I could feel myself shaking. I was very anxious. I don't like being the center of attention, and the fact that everybody was up and they had their phones, you know, making videos, it just made me so nervous. I couldn't even look at the people. When it comes to thoughts, I was actually having a good conversation with my dad, just low-key. Nobody noticed we were talking. We're basically talking about what's gonna happen when we get in front. You know, the pastor's gonna ask him who's giving away this woman to this man, and he has to respond, I do, which my dad responded, I don't know. My dad is a funny man. But then he said, I do. It was so funny. Mine and Dizzy's goal was literally to get through the ceremony, get pronounced husband and wife in front of your families, and whatever happens from there, let it happen. It was an added bonus, to be honest. What was going through Dizzy's mind? I have no idea. Please be quick, be short. Don't give me a long-winded answer. Somebody asked, what were your thoughts and feelings when you were walking down the aisle?
Oh, no thoughts and feelings.
You can make it a bit long then. Moho Ramatunyani writes, you know, I was thinking the other day that we need a fun Q&A from you. We need to make it juicy next time, okay? Let's do so. I feel like I already know you and the family because you always share so much in your vlogs. Do you guys plan on having a family road trip soon? Where would you like to go? I already answered this. Sharon writes, you looked absolutely stunning. Thank you. Can't get enough of your vlogs. They are so informative and I can relate now that I have 2 babies. Congratulations on your 2 little ones, and I'm so glad you guys can relate because honestly I try by all means to vlog the real life moments. And somebody funny enough commented the other day and said they thought I spoil my kids and never say no to them, but let me tell you guys, I used to say no so many times that I've started to consciously remind myself not to say no. So instead of saying no, I always offer an alternative. So for example, if Peanut says to me, mommy, I want juicy, I will rather say, we can have juicy later, can I give you an orange instead, or something else, instead of saying a hard no. Gatego writes, Peanut's speech is improving so much. I love hearing him speak. That is so true. This boy talks from the minute he wakes up until he goes to bed. The only time he's quiet is if he's in bed. It's funny and so cute to watch. What about their home language? Do they speak or understand it? They understand. I mean, Peanut is 2, guys. Nothing else is 1. Peanut understands, you know, what a 2-year-old understands, but KB understands quite a bit. She just responds in English, which I don't mind. I've already answered this. Letitia writes, hey bestie, the pics are so cute. Thank you. Do you see yourself doing YouTube in future? Is it going to be a lifetime thingy, where you have a certain year you want to stop. I don't think it's going to be a lifetime thingy, but at the same time I haven't really thought of when I would like to stop. I think when it starts to get really boring and there's not much happening and I don't really want to film the kids when they don't want to be filmed, that's when it will most likely start toning down and taking a different direction. We'll see. Banyana, right? Hey bestie, how soon do you recommend that children go to daycare, and which one do you recommend? Did Bonalo's eczema ever come back, and if yes, what did you use? My 5-month-old has severe eczema. I'm so sorry I did not have any questions for you directly, but I love you. Before I forget, please do a sale on your channel when selling baby things. I love your style. Thank you. I don't have a set recommended age, but I always say if you're a working mom, at the end of your maternity leave, take your kid to school. School is more reliable, will always be there. You might not like it at the beginning, but I'm telling you, they have your kids' best interest at heart, and it's just a more structured system that for me put my mind at ease. Which one do I recommend? It depends on where you are. Go to a few schools, look at how they do, look at the teacher to kid ratio, like if one teacher is taking care of 4 kids in class, how many kids they have in class, do they have like a set schedule, do they share pictures? Look for things that you deem important to you. Yes, the kids will get sick at the beginning, but that's how they build up their immune system. It's pointless keeping the kid at home and saying you don't want them to get sick. One way or another, they have to get sick to build up those antibodies. Bonala still has eczema. Thankfully hers is mild, so it comes and goes. I avoided using any scented product on her until she was a year old. At the very beginning, when it was really bad, her doctor prescribed a lotion for her, which you can't get from over the counter. You have to get prescription, so I suggest you take baby to a pediatrician to get that prescription. Be on the lookout for things that make the eczema flare up. I did do a few oatmeal baths, so I blended up oats and I put on her bath and I would let her soak in that. That helped plenty. I used Epimax and it did amazing on her. It really did great. Deborah can't get enough. Buddy, my friend, Beatabile Ale fine, and let me tell you, he was everywhere. He stepped on my veil at one point during the ceremony. My head was pulled back. It was so funny. Dinel's God-given grace writes, hey bestie, how do you deal with financial issues, and how are your finances dealt with in your household with hubby? Finances is still a thing that we both still trying to figure out, because for the most part, like me and Dizzy have been together for so long, we're trying to come up with a way that will sustain the household in a way that we're able to pay all of our bills, save all we have to save, and still get through the month without, like, you know, being stranded for cash and stuff like that. We are basically writing the budget together. Maybe someday we'll share when we know what we are doing. So far we have no idea. Posh Space writes, beautiful wedding, wishing a blessed lifelong union. Thank you. Leuchan writes, beautiful, I love you and your family so much. Thank you for being open and so vulnerable with us. You make motherhood look easy, and it's really not. It is not. I have toddler twins, so I know. I've always wondered if you actually have a nanny. If not, why? Is it just preference, or have you had bad experiences? We don't have a nanny for both reasons. Personal preference. Also, we've had really bad experiences, and I don't see us getting a nanny anytime soon, unless if we get somebody who can come every other night, maybe once a month or twice a month when we do our date nights. Latoya writes, beautiful pics, bestie. Here are my questions. Where do you see you and your family in the next 5 years? I see us in a bigger house, traveling a lot, financially free. If all else fails, if we can be financially free, that would be the biggest thing for us. Would you ever consider living in a different city? Not really. I mean, life in Joburg it's expensive. It is rough out here. You make money and spend it in Joburg. And for the lifestyle we are living, and for the lifestyle we want to be living in the next 5 years, this is the place to be. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? We have this conversation literally not a week goes by where we like, when we retire, where would we like to stay? And to this day we still don't have an answer. So I don't know. What places would you like to visit, and do you all plan to travel in the near future? I'm so boring. I like to go back to the places I've been to. I like familiar spaces, so definitely Zimbabwe, Victoria Falls, Namibia, Swakopmund, all around Limpopo, and then of course Port Edward. And I would absolutely love to start going to resorts in remote areas like your Northwest, because they have great beautiful places there. We just never go there because, I don't know, it's always the last thing in our minds. Nicolette writes, would you ever consider being a full-time stay-at-home mom and drop 9 to 5? Hell no. That's a hard no from me. What's your take on homeschooling? If I'm the teacher, no. If somebody else is doing the teaching, I don't mind it. Do your kids understand your mother tongue? Yes, they do. Do I wish they did? Not necessarily. I mean, whether they do or don't really doesn't bother me much. Diana writes, hey bestie, I know you've spoken a lot about the gentle parenting on this channel. Were there specific books you read or any resources you looked into for that? Not really, but I must say I reference a lot how my parents brought us up a lot while I'm raising my kids. Can you see the rise? Hey bestie, I'd like to know if having kids has ever put a strain on your marriage, especially when you had your first and the transition from 2 to 3. Having kids is really hard. I will tell you that. You change a whole lot of stuff. You all of a sudden realize that all the times when you used to wake up at midnight to make waffles, that's gone because you're up at midnight changing nappies. Having kids can pull you guys apart so quickly and so fast, and if you don't realize and nip it in the bud quickly, it will be very, very damaging to your relationship. Did it put a strain on our relationship? I don't want to say marriage because we just got married just the other day, but the relationship has been going on for almost 11 years now. Yes, it did. And we constantly have to reach over to each other because it's so easy to drift apart while you get consumed by the kids. Don't have kids to save a relationship. It's not a good idea. The transition from 2 to 3 was hard. I think with 2 kids it's easier because it's 2 parents, you know. The one parent can be attending to the other kid while you're attending to the other one. But with 3, there's always that kid who gets lost in the middle. And Peanut, unfortunately, was that one for us because he's so quiet. He sucks his finger. It was so easy for him to get lost in the situation. I constantly had to find him and remind myself that yes, Bonolo is fragile and preemie and stuff, but Peanut is also still a baby, and I have to constantly engage him to remind him that he's still there. It's funny how we as adults and parents, we always think we're gonna resent our partners and we're gonna resent our husbands and boyfriends and girlfriends and partners and whatnot, but then we forget that our children can actually also resent us for bringing them a sibling because they felt replaced or they felt unloved or they felt not wanted because the new baby came. And it was very, very worrying for me. Peanut is still a baby, and he's the kind of baby who will not make any noise unless you talk to him and, you know, ping him and make sure he's okay, check up on him and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, the transition from 2 to 3 definitely was harder than 1 to 2. One last question. I've been talking for a while. Dubex writes, hey bestie bae, I have a lot of questions. Some I won't remember now, but I'll keep on adding. What do you regret most about parenting? Like something you wish you had done differently, especially with K-Bear. She is your first and you were young and I guess less informed. I regret listening to a lot of people. As a first-time mom, you get a whole lot of information. People tell you, you must do this, you must do that. I remember my midwife said I must feed her every 2 to 3 hours, and I religiously did that because I thought that's how it's supposed to be. Otherwise you break the baby or something happens to the baby. But KB would be crying and screaming and most likely hungry and very frustrated, and we were so frustrated because we're like, why is she crying? She fed just an hour ago. Why is she crying? When in fact I should have just fed her on demand and had her happy like I did with Peanut and Nolly Nolls, and they were happy babies. That's the one thing I regret the most. Sometimes I look at her and I still feel guilty about it, like, oh my gosh, you were just a hungry cranky baby, weren't you? I looked at K-Bear for the longest time as this fragile being that it was very frustrating because it made me so conscious as a parent that I was questioning my every move. And then when we had Peanut, I was like, okay, yes, he's tiny, yes, he's a baby, but he's also human. So I looked at him more like a human being rather than a fragile being. By doing that, I was able to change my mind shift and be more comfortable, stand my ground more, and state my opinions and do things my way more. And it worked out fantastic. Second question, I want to know the tea about your family's disagreements about your intimate wedding and how you managed to get away with doing what you and Dizzy wanted. I already answered this one, but yeah, another big thing was the number of people on the guest list. People wanted to have like a huge guest list. Anyway, why did it take you 11 years to get married? Was it an issue? One of you wasn't ready? The truth is, me and Dizzy actually were gonna get married back in 2012, way before we had kids and stuff. It was just a thing we wanted to do to make our parents happy. But again, there was family drama. But also at the same time, throughout the whole family situation happening back in 2011, when he initially proposed, we had chosen each other. Marriage and weddings are mostly for parent pride. We didn't even force it back then. We were just like, is this the way it is? Okay, cool stuff. We're just gonna move on with our lives and just do what we feel is right for us. So basically we've been choosing each other since 2011 to this day. We've been doing things our way. Families don't always agree. We're actually protecting our love, our relationship, our family, and our future. And with that, that's gonna end this Q&A. It was entirely long. I thought this was gonna be like 5 minutes. I was talking so fast at the beginning trying to get through this quickly, but hey, here we are. Thank you so much for sending your questions. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to type them out and send them out, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thumbs it up, and I'll catch you besties on our next video. Bye besties.